Welcome to Wabas on Wire. Today we're talking about Anwar's strict directive concerning events held on government school premises.
Yes, this is quite a firm line from the Prime Minister, Dato Seri Anwar Ibrahim. Really non-negotiable, it seems.
Absolutely. The core message is crystal clear. Government schools, no alcohol, no gambling activities, period.
And that includes even if the place is rented out, after school hours. It doesn't matter.
It really shifts the focus, doesn't it? From just sort of venue rules to something much bigger about national values, about how we use public spaces.
Exactly. And the catalyst was, well, quite public. That incident at St. Michael's Secondary School in Ipoh.
Right, the alumni function where alcohol was reportedly served, that really blew up, went straight to Parliament.
It did. It came up during the Prime Minister's question time. Ahmad Fadli, the Member of Parliament for Pasir Mas, he directly asked for a strong stance.
He pushed for it, yeah. Wanted the government to be really clear about alcohol on school grounds, no matter who's running the event.
Precisely, which led to this, well, absolute directive from Anwar.
Okay, so let's unpack the scope a bit. Because, people listening might wonder about the details. Renting a school hall, say, for a wedding or an alumni dinner, that used to feel separate, right?
Well, that separation is gone now. The PM was emphatic. It's all government schools.
All of them.
Yes. And it explicitly covers the school hall, other facilities too, not just classrooms.
And the timing doesn't matter. After hours is still a no-go.
Doesn't matter. After school hours, weekends, irrelevant. And crucially, even if a private group, like an alumni association or some other organization, rents the place, the ban still applies. No alcohol, no gambling.
So it's tied to the asset, the school property itself, not who's using it at the time.
That's the core of it.
Yeah.
It's a government asset dedicated to education.
Okay, so what happens if someone breaks this rule? If an event does have alcohol, what's the immediate consequence?
The PM framed it as a violation of the school's fundamental purpose, its educational mission. So if an activity involves these things, it's seen as undermining that mission. And because it's government property for public education, that mission is paramount.
Non-negotiable, as you said.
Exactly. It's a breach of the terms under which the facility can be used. So expect immediate action regarding usage agreements, maybe cancellations.
That definitely moves the conversation away from just, checking IDs or booking times and straight into philosophy, which Onward leaned into quite heavily, didn't he?
He absolutely did. He posed this really fundamental question to Parliament. What is education? Is it just about knowledge, tech, intellect?
Or is it bigger?
Or is it about building the whole person? Character value. That's what he asked.
That's a powerful connection to make, linking a rule about renting a hall to the entire philosophy of national education.
And he argued for consensus on this, saying, look, activities like drinking, gambling, they fundamentally clash with the goal of developing good character, good moral values.
So the environment itself has to reflect those values. No mixed messages.
That's the idea. You can't have a school promoting certain values from Monday to Friday and then hosting activities that contradict them on Saturday night in the same hall. It undermines the whole system, he argued.
But what about the practical side? Like, alumni groups often hold dinners, maybe with some social drinking, to raise funds, right? Funds that often go back to the school for needed things.
That's a very valid point. The potential impact on fundraising is real.
Are they risking cutting off that support?
It seems the government has weighed that. They've weighed the financial contributions against what they see as the integrity of the educational institution.
And integrity won out.
It appears so. The message is that the school's moral purpose isn't for sale, essentially. Even if it means finding other ways to fundraise, the long-term value structure is the priority.
Okay, now this inevitably touches on sensitivities around non-Muslim communities, their cultural practices, rights. How did Anwar handle that aspect?
He addressed it directly, made a very clear point, actually. He stressed this directive is not aimed at taking away rights from non-Muslim friends.
So it's not about interfering in their private lives.
No, not outside the school context. He was very specific. This is about the nature of the school itself.
The school as a public educational space.
Precisely, as a government asset for knowledge, morals, values. He also pointed out, that generally non-Muslim kids aren't taught drinking or gambling as core cultural values from a young age.
So allowing those adult activities on school grounds doesn't represent the whole culture anyway.
That was his perspective. That maintaining this standard for an educational environment is about public education principles, not imposing one group's religious view.
And he drew a very sharp line between public and private space.
Absolutely critical for clarity. What people do outside the school campus in their homes, licensed venues, that's their liberty. The government isn't interfering there.
The ban is strictly for the school premises.
Yes. Defines the government's responsibility. Protect the school's integrity. Don't overstep into private lives.
Okay, let's broaden out. We've talked government schools. What about private schools? The jurisdiction must be different there.
Oh, completely different ballgame. Government schools. Mandatory compliance. They're government assets.
Right.
Private schools. The PM acknowledged the limits. They aren't government property. So the government can't just issue the same directive and enforce it directly.
But is there a push to get them aligned anyway?
There seems to be. He mentioned the Minister of Education, Fedlina, had already raised this. It signals they're thinking about it, exploring ways.
Exploring stricter regulations, perhaps?
Potentially, it wouldn't be a direct order like for government schools, but they could use other levers.
Like what? How could they influence private schools on this?
We'll think about things like accreditation, operating licenses, maybe access to certain government grants or tax breaks.
So linking compliance to those benefits.
Possibly. If adhering to these kinds of values, principles, becomes tied to a school's official standing or its ability to get state support, that creates strong pressure to comply without direct ownership. It's a way to sort of harmonize standards across the sector. That's likely the next area to watch.
Interesting. So it could ripple out beyond just the government institutions. And Anwar didn't stop at schools, did he? He mentioned other government functions too.
Correct. He extended the principle, said this restriction, this idea about appropriate conduct in public settings, should also apply to official functions held by government bodies themselves.
Not just schools.
Right. He referred to, well, some recent incidents didn't specify which, where government events allegedly served alcohol.
That makes political sense, doesn't it? If you're setting a
Yeah.
standard for schools based on values.
Then the government itself needs to walk the talk. Exactly. It adds consistency.
So the message is, public assets, whether it's a school hall or a ministry meeting room, should reflect the values the government wants to instill.
Yes. It connects the policy across the board. Public space, public duty requires a certain standard.
So thinking about all this, it really pushes you, the listener, to consider, if we agree education should build character, where do you think the line is for acceptable activities in these public learning spaces?
Yeah, it's a fundamental question. What the PM has done is take one specific incident and use it to make a very broad philosophical statement backed by policy about education's purpose and the use of state assets.
It draws a very clear boundary.
A very firm one, defining what's okay within an institution tasked with shaping young minds.
So the big takeaway here isn't just about a rule change. It's about Anwar linking this ban directly to Malaysia's core educational mission, building values, building integrity.
Yes, it solidifies the government's position. It clearly separates private adult freedoms, respected outside the school gates, from the public educational responsibility that applies inside those gates. It's a clear line in the sand.
Remember to like and subscribe for more videos like this.